welcome to another episode of Cotton. And today we have Paranjoy Guha, one of India's most eminent independent investigative journalist. And he is also a filmmaker, author, publisher. And yesterday, I welcome you to this program, Paranjada. And yesterday, you attended the EC press meet. And your questions in the EC press meet, actually now I could see that all over Yogendra Yadav, he was actually discussing your questions. And then I saw Rabish Kumar also discussing these things, and many other platforms this is being discussed. So first, what I would like to do, I would just like to show a little bit of that clip, and then I'll come to my question, first question.
गुहा ठाकुर है, मैं फ्रीलांस जर्नलिस्ट हूँ। परंजॉय गुहा ठाकुर। सर, few questions. इतना हड़बड़ी में आपको एसआईआर करने का क्या जरूरत है जब बाहर चल रहे बिहार में बारिश के समय, और समय बहुत लोग कह रहे बहुत कम है। आपको सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने आदेश किया 14 तारीख के दिन, आपको मशीन रीडेबल जो 65 लाख लोग का नाम नहीं है तो आपको देना पड़ेगा, इससे पहले आपने क्यों नहीं दिया? आखिरी सवाल है कि महाराष्ट्र में जो 40 लाख नया वोटर आए हैं और लोग कह रहे हैं कि पहला बार महाराष्ट्र के इतिहास में, भारतवर्ष के इतिहास में वोटर ज्यादा और 18 साल उम्र के लोग कम, और 5 बजे के बाद बहुत लोग वोट दिया। तो ये सारे जवाब मुख्यमंत्री देवेंद्र फडणवीस दे रहे, राजनीतिक दल का नेता दे रहे, चुनाव आयोग अभी तक खामोश थे, क्यों?
We have seen this your question and also the answer offered by the election commissioner. Now, are you satisfied? Were you satisfied with his answer? Or if not, why?
All right. First and foremost, Paresh Malakarji, thank you so much for inviting me once again to speak on your program, and my best wishes, and I welcome all the viewers and listeners of Northeast Now, Any Now. Before I ask you a question, let me just give a little bit of a background. This is the first press conference, open press conference, that has been organized by the Chief Election Commissioner, Shri Ganesh Kumar, since he became the CEC, the Chief Election Commissioner, on the 19th of February this year, 2025. Why the press conference was held is something we can discuss at a later point of time. Right now, if you wish to, I can, respond to that question. What was, your viewers have seen the questions that I asked. A lot of people were surprised I asked the question. I said, why are you surprised? Not every journalist is allowed into that press conference, which was held at the National Media Center. You have to be an accredited correspondent. You have to be accredited with the Press Information Bureau of the Government of India, Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. I have been accredited as a journalist from the late 80s. But I must say, I've never seen a press conference like this. It is unprecedented. Now, why he asked the question, I'll answer you later.
Yeah.
Why
was it unprecedented?
Let me tell you why. Because in the past, all the press conferences that are organized by the representatives of the Election Commission of India are routine press conferences. You have a press conference to announce the dates of the elections, and on that occasion you answer questions. You give the dates of different elections, Lok Sabha elections, state assembly elections, etc. That's the way it is. Never is there been a press conference organized to answer the allegations that have been leveled by members who are leaders of the important leaders of the opposition parties, including the leader of the opposition in the Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi. Also, various other people have made these complaints, and they include representatives of the Trinamool Congress, the Samajwadi Party, the Rashtriya Janata Dal, the Biju Janata Dal, among others. Now, what is interesting is that this was held on a Sunday at 3 in the afternoon. It may be a coincidence that is exactly around the same time that Rahul Gandhi,
You are seeing.
he had started his yatra in Sasaram in Bihar to protest against what he alleges vote chori, vote chor, gaddi chor. I mean, you have stolen the votes, you should leave your seat. Those kind of allegations have been leveled by Shri Rahul Gandhi. I'm not even getting into the merits of the allegations. We can talk about that later. So, this is why it was unprecedented. It is also important to note that on the 14th of August, 2 days earlier, 3 days earlier, if you like, 17th and 14th, the Supreme Court of India had issued an order. And this was a very, very significant order. It was issued by a bench comprising Justice Surya Kant, who is going to become the next Chief Justice of India after Justice Bhushan Gawai completes his term, and Justice Joy Mallo Bagchi. Now, this bench gave a significant decision, and in a sense, the decision, many people have interpreted it as it was critical. Some would even say a rap on the knuckles of the Election Commission of India. Why? We can also discuss these in greater detail. The Supreme Court directed the Election Commission of India to publish the names of
65
some
lakhs.
65 lakh people in a machine readable format, which these names had been deleted in the special intensive revision of the electoral rolls in Bihar. It also said that in case there are complaints about exclusion of names, that among the documents that can be used, you can use your Aadhaar card. Earlier, there were several other documents. There were 11 documents, including your date of birth, and now they've added one more document. But the short point is your Aadhaar card was not one of those documents. Your EPIC card, the electoral photo identity card, was not one of those documents. Your Manrega, the job card that you have under the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Program, Guarantee Act, your ration card under the public distribution system, none of these were considered to be valid. Now, these were very, very important decisions. And I think, in a sense, the Chief Election Commissioner, Shri Ganesh Kumar, felt obliged to answer because there was so much criticism. How he answered is another story. The questions I asked him, I did not get complete answers. I asked him why were the elections being held in such a hurry in Bihar, and that too during the monsoons, peak of the monsoons. In parts of Bihar like Kosi, entire villages are washed away. Why the hurry? His response was no, we have to have this special intensive revision before the elections. When are the elections due? The new assembly of Bihar has to be constituted before the 22nd of November. So the elections have to be taken place earlier than that. It could take place in late October, it could take place in early November. What was the response of Shri Ganesh Kumar? He said in 2003, a similar SIR, Special Intensive Revision, had taken place in Bihar, also during the same monsoon period. To me, it's a kind of whataboutery, but that's the way it was. I also asked him a question as to Maharashtra. Why were 40 lakh new names added to the voter rolls? This edition, and I didn't put this in my question, but this edition took place in 5 months, between May 2024 and November 2024, between the Lok Sabha elections and the Vidhan Sabha elections. So his response was that why are you why are the opposition parties complaining now? They should have complained 45 days after the results were known. Why are they complaining 8 months after the process is over, the election process is over? Yes, that's what the rule says. That's what the Representation of People Act also says. That's what the conduct of election rules say. So he gave technical answers. And he said, because they did not complain, he did not, I repeat, not answer my question whether in Maharashtra, India's second most populous state with the second largest number of members of parliament, why is it that in Maharashtra, is it correct that there are more voters registered than the number of people who are eligible to vote? That is, people who are above the age of 18. He did not answer that question. I asked him, there was a surge in voters in the voting turnout after 5 p.m. He said, no, if they were voting for 10 hours and then each hour you assume it was 10%. So even in the last hour, it was less than 10%. That was his response. Then the question that was asked of Mr. Ganesh Kumar, when these questions were raised, why is it that the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Devendra Fadnavis, why is he answering? Why are the representatives of the political parties answering, and why was the election commission silent? Now, I did not get an answer to that question. So if you ask me, was I satisfied with the answers? No, I was not satisfied. Some of the questions were partially answered. Some of the questions, they were giving a technical answers. In some of the questions that I asked, I clubbed in all the questions together, 4 or 5 questions. The election commission, the chief election commissioner, indulged in what I would consider whataboutery, and some questions were just not answered. You can say they were ducked.
Now, do you see a pattern here? That the same pattern the government of India, actually they follow. That they would say that as if they would do things in a procedural manner, but they will leave out the essence of it.
Okay, that is, let me give you this answer in separate parts. As I mentioned earlier, Chief Election Commissioner Ganesh Kumar gave very, very technical answers to some questions. He said there's a difference between machine readable and machine searchable. He said that two things are different. Then when the question was asked, why are you not giving CCTV, closed circuit television footage, and you destroyed it, removed it after 45 days? What was it? His response that this might violate privacy, individual privacy. There would be breach of the privacy of voters. He even talked about your ma and hand. Do you want your mother and your sister's picture to be shown? To me, this is not a complete answer. This is CCTV footage in a public place. This is, you are in a voting booth and you are taking pictures of people who are going to vote. You are not invading the privacy of your mother or your daughter in her bedroom or bathroom. No, that is not the case. So I am not convinced with the answer that he gave that this is kind of like violation of the or breach of the privacy of the voters, especially the women voters. The other point I think is important to note that a lot of questions were asked to him where they named Rahul Gandhi and the allegations that he had made. 10 days before the press conference, on the 6th of August, Rahul Gandhi had a press conference. He had put out several presentations. The Chief Election Commissioner referred to PowerPoint presentations. He did not refer to Rahul Gandhi by name, but essentially it was, what he said was that you either file an affidavit under oath or you apologize to the nation. And then he gave a technical reasons. He said you have to be a voter in a particular constituency if you have to file a complaint. You have a 45-day window to file that complaint. You have to file that complaint under oath. Now, then he went on to say that, why are you complaining now? The chief election officers of Maharashtra, of Karnataka, and Hyderabad, sorry, not Hyderabad, Haryana, they have not been given affidavits under oath. So the complaint made by the Biju Janata Dal, headed by the former chief minister of Orissa, Naveen Patnaik, he said the complaint was not made under oath. The same story with the Samajwadi Party, not made within the deadline of 45 days. So it was a very, very technical answer. At the same time, he's showing the rule. He's showing under so and so provision of the Representation of the People Act, under so and so provision of the conduct of election rules. But wait, he did not say that Anurag Thakur, who was the former minister in the BJP government, he was the information and broadcasting minister. He's head of the various cricket bodies, and he has infamously remarked that, Desh ke gaddaro ko, he raised the question, and the audience answered, Goli maro sale ko, that shoot down the traitors to the nation. He also made several allegations, public allegations, at a press conference, saying that there was false voting that took place in Raebareli in Uttar Pradesh, where Rahul Gandhi got elected. There was false voting in Wayanad in Kerala, where Priyanka Gandhi got elected. Now, by the same yardstick that you're using against Rahul Gandhi, should Anurag Thakur also not be asked to either submit his allegations under an affidavit, under oath, and under a sworn affidavit? Or should he also not? You're asking Rahul Gandhi to apologize to the nation. Should you also not ask Anurag Thakur to answer, to apologize to the nation? So the Indian National Congress, its spokespersons, believe that the way the Chief Election Commissioner and the Election Commission has reacted is like kind of a veiled threat, that you have subtly threatened the leader of the opposition, and they have accused the Election Commission of India of acting in a blatantly partisan manner. This is this is the claim made by the Indian National Congress, the spokesperson of the Congress Party.
See, I have not seen this long press conference of the ECI, but I've seen it. I saw it sporadically here and there. But
Let me stop you. Let me stop you. All your readers should go to the website of the Election Commission of India. It is available. It is it's a public record. You see the entire press conferences. It started a little after 3 o'clock on Sunday, which was the 17th of August. Please see it. It went on for about 1.5 hours. Various people, dozens and dozens of questions were asked. Your readers should see. You see it yourself.
yes, no, well,
See it
definitely.
yourself, and then you arrive at your own conclusion.
Yeah. No, whatever I have seen, it's not that I have not seen it at all. I have seen many parts and bits. But I feel as if throughout the press conference, the EC was very patronizing and condescending. That is the mood I could see. They were not sharing information. They were in a indirect way, they were just guarding and defending their actions. Am I correct?
Paresh Babu, you are entitled to your opinion. I will not contradict you. I will neither say yes or no. I once again repeat.
You will say,
Let your viewers see for themselves. Let every person arrive at her or his own conclusion.
Okay.
You can say I am biased.
No,
I can
no.
say Paresh Malakar is biased. You can say
So
that.
they,
So I mean,
so
this
they
is
should
not
see themselves.
no, it's a matter of public.
They should
It's a
see
public.
themselves.
It's
Another
publicly
thing,
available.
yeah.
Yes, please go on.
Another thing, when it comes to the allegation, the complaint rather, by Rahul Gandhi, the leader of the opposition. They say that, okay, you come with your allegation under vote, or you apologize. Else, we are not going to consider your allegations and complaints or whatever. So that means they are not going to take any action against Rahul Gandhi.
I really don't know what will happen and what will not happen. Let me make two observations here, which has got nothing to do with Rahul Gandhi. What Rahul Gandhi will do, what other opposition leaders will do, what will happen in Bihar when there is this yatra happening, the political leaders are traveling across Bihar, whether there will be boycott of the vote or not. One point that the Chief Election Commissioner repeatedly mentioned, that there are still 15 days left. There are still 15 days to make complaints about exclusion or duplication or wrong information about individual voters that who are there in the electoral rolls that were released after the 24 June direction by the Election Commission of India to have a special intensive revision. So there is half a month. So from the 1st of August, you have time till the 1st of September. And we are now, you still have about 2 weeks left to respond. So we'll have to wait and watch what happens. What happens when the final roll is released, and we'll get to know about that in early September. One important point that the Supreme Court of India said, and this was actually alluded to by the Chief Election Commissioner, Ganesh Kumarji, about can you or can you not show the Aadhaar card as proof that you are a voter? Now, interestingly, there are two issues. One is that of citizenship. And people have been talking about this for quite some time. And the complaint has been that who is the Election Commission of India to decide who should be a citizen and who should not be a citizen? And the special summary revision of that took place in Bihar on the 6th of January. Why were not all these names of people who are dead, who are not non-existent, why were they not put up? But more importantly, the Election Commission of India has used two cut-off dates. One is the 1st of July 1987 and the other is the 2nd of December 2004. And these are exactly the same dates that are being used for the Citizenship Amendment Act, CAA, and the NRC, the National Register of Citizens. You are from Assam, you know how important all these dates are. Now, what we have to wait and watch and see is how this is done. The Chief Election Commissioner says, if somebody has a complaint, okay, you can say, this is my Aadhaar card. People are saying, why so many house numbers have zero, address zero? He said, because that's what they are is given. They may be homeless people, their addresses may not be properly recorded. The short point is, Shri Ganesh Kumar sought to say that the political parties are responsible. Those who are complaining, they have not done their homework. That is essentially to summarize his view. So you can argue that the Election Commission of India, which is a constitutional body, it's a constitutional authority, also has responsibilities. It also is responsible for ensuring that there is one person, one vote, one man, one vote. Something we've had from 1951-52, what we say universal adult franchise. First, the cutoff. First, it was 21 years old, and then it became 18 years old. Every Indian citizen has the right to vote if you are above the age of 18 at a particular date. Now, this is the difference between India and other countries, including America. In America, you have to register as a voter. That is why, if you look at the total number of people eligible to vote in India, it is roughly about 1 billion, about 100 crore. 99% names are there. In America, it's not that. It's above 70% is 73% or 74%, something like that.
Even some people say 65%.
Whatever they say, but the voter has to go and register herself or himself before the concerned government authority to become a voter. Now, in India, you don't have such a system. You may be homeless, you may be poor, you may not have a proper address that because you're homeless, but you have the right to vote. This is what is India's democracy. We say we are the world's most biggest democracy. So this is the integral aspect, important aspect of the voting system in this country.
Now, the kind of actually dates you mentioned, they are very, very significant. They are very, very significant. But now, one thing I would like to ask you, and I want to know your views on it. You have indirectly answered it, but then I want a very direct answer. Now, the election commission actually, so far the voting rights of the people are concerned, so far the correcting the voter list is concerned, everything. This is primarily the responsibility of the election commission, isn't it?
I agree entirely.
If something goes wrong, then of course the citizens, whether you see it's a political parties or other NGOs or individual citizens, they can complain. But is it not primarily the responsibility of the Election Commission of India?
Undoubtedly, completely. It is the responsibility of the Election Commission of India. Now, Mr. Ganesh Kumar gave a lot of statistics. He gave a huge number of statistics. Now, he's saying, so many people in this country, first he said, we are not partisan, we are all, we are neutral. He started with all that. But then you saw how the press conference went by. Now, you see, what you are saying that you have lakhs of BLOs, hundreds of thousands of BLOs, okay? In Bihar alone, you have 1.5 lakh booth level agents. You have all India 10.5 level block BLOs, booth level officers. And then you have booth level agents. So, Election Commission of India is supervising a huge machinery. I'm going by the figures given by the election commissioner, the chief election commissioner. That there are lakhs and lakhs of people who are engaged in this election at any given point of time. Now, in Bihar alone, why do we have a special intensive revision? He says 90,000 booth level officers have to visit literally door to door the homes of almost 8 crore, 7 crore, 89 lakh voters. So isn't this huge exercise that you are undergoing, it's your responsibility to ensure that elections take place in a free and fair manner. Now, how the political parties will protest, what will this lead to, whether that will result in boycott of polls or not, I mean, it's very difficult to anticipate what will happen in the coming weeks. We'll have to wait and watch. And also when the new electoral rolls, when they're released.
And how, my question is, how he said, at one point he said that, okay, we have only 700 people to man the election commission. But the entire people.
No. The number of people in the election commission full time is one thing. But during elections, who are booth level officers?
All the administrative.
The booth level officers could be teachers, they could be block level officers.
Everybody is.
Yeah, you have the government machinery,
And
you have the
they're all,
SDM. Yeah, the subdivisional magistrate, and then you
yes,
have the
everybody.
district
And then,
magistrates, the district collector, and
yes,
so on and so forth.
sure. So they are all responsible if something goes wrong, not the people who are sitting in the Nirvashan Sudan at Delhi.
No, 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 no. In Nirvachan Sadan, those sitting there during the election, they have to supervise the activities of all these
Yeah.
people. The booth level officers, the electoral they're called election registration officers. They have different names. The subdivisional magistrates, even the district magistrates.
And everybody
They
is
come
working
under the
under them.
broad. They come under the broad administration or administrative supervision of the election commissioner or the entire Nirvachan Sadan,
Yes.
headed by the chief election commissioner,
Election
Ganesh
Commission.
Ganesh Kumarji.
Yeah. Now, coming to another question, you see, there is a recent survey, actually, I think Saturday and Sunday, it was conducted by the Hindu.
That's right.
It was conducted by the Hindu, and then it has come out that actually the people's faith in the election commission, actually it has dwindled.
It has come down.
It has come down.
Yes, I
So,
agree with you. This is this
so
is
what your
yeah.
reaction on that?
See, this is the report that has been published in the Hindu.
Yeah.
Earlier, there were similar surveys done by CSDS, the Center for the Study of Developing Societies. There have been various surveys, all pointing to a fall in the perception of the credibility of the Election Commission of India, the constitutional body called the Election Commission of India. That means the faith of ordinary voters that the ECI will conduct elections in an independent manner, in a free manner, in a fair manner, in without
Impartial manner.
impartial manner. Now that has come down. Now these questions came up during a hearing in the Supreme Court of India some time ago, uh, and they said, "Oh, these are independent surveys. These are private. These are private surveys." So in the past, the Election Commission of India, and I must say even the Supreme Court of India, have not given so much credence or importance, I should say, to these so-called private surveys that indicate that the credibility of the Election Commission has come down.
But
But
see,
your perception, my perception could be very, very different. My own view is that yes, the credibility of the Election Commission of India has come down in the eyes of ordinary people, ordinary voters, poor voters, even illiterate people, those who are underprivileged. They do not have, they should have, let me put it the other way around, they should have much greater faith in Nirvachan Sadan, in the Nirvachan Ayog, in the Election Commission of India to conduct polls in such a manner that people are able to exercise their franchise in a free manner without any fear or any favor.
and actually starting with the first election commission, Sukumar Sen, then
1951, 52.
51, 52. So it was almost like all over India, it was celebrated like the festival of democracy. Everybody used to go and participate.
Paresh Babu, women were given the right to vote. At that time, the women of Switzerland did not have the right
They
to
were
vote.
not get, yeah. So that is why it was a great festival of democracy. That is why Jugendra Jadhav, when he said that he was praising the Election Commission of India, and okay, in between it has fallen a little bit. Then we saw the session era, TN session. And he used to say that
Then
actually
we had series of chief election commissioners. Remember how Mr. Narendra Modi was so upset with J.M. Lingdo.
Lingdu, yeah.
Yeah, you
Right, he's
remember
from
that
our side.
after the riots, after the communal riots in Gujarat in 2002, when the elections were held, he was very upset, and he kept referring to the then Chief Election Commissioner by his full name, James Michael Lindo, almost as if to emphasize his background, his
Yes,
so people
this tribal
that
background.
his first name is a
Yeah,
Christian name.
Christian.
Yeah, first two names. Yes.
Yeah. So my question is that instead of indulging in these things, shouldn't they have been actually, shouldn't they be taking action, course correction, that so that actually, you see, you are trying to brush away all the complaints, all the allegations.
I
You are
agree with
not
you.
doing it. You are not doing anything to correct yourself. Even
I fully agree with you. I think the Election Commission of India should not be defensive, should look at the criticisms that have been leveled against the working of the Election Commission of India in a constructive manner. They should be used as an opportunity to improve your working so that your credibility goes up. Unfortunately, that has not happened, and it is evident that there's a certain considerable hostility between the Election Commission of India and and political parties that are in the opposition.
yeah, there anybody actually coming out with some complaints, some actually problem with the election commission, they always go to defense. Yeah. And even yesterday's press conference also, I didn't see that they were sincerely sharing information with the press. They were all the time, each and every question the chief election commission answered, he was actually trying to defend himself, defend whatever he was doing. That is what comes out. Now, my next question, I don't have too many questions.
Sir, you've been talking to me for almost 45 minutes.
No,
What to
it's
do?
only no, this will be my last question. Now, the thing is, see, there are so many schemes this government of India want to dole out things to the poorest of the poor. But when it comes to empowering them, when it comes to their rights, why is this government of India, why this election commissioner is so hesitant? Why? Why are they doing this?
Good suggestion.
On the one hand, you say that no, we have to do this many things for them. But when it comes to their right, so
No,
you
no. You know, the Election Commission of India, Mr. Ganesh Kumar, the Chief Election Commissioner, he started his press conference saying, every voter has a right. We are not with opposition. We are not with the ruling party. We are fair. We are independent. We are a constitutional authority. We support the voter. It doesn't matter whether she is rich or poor, with a home or with a. He said all these things. I agree. He started his opening remarks in this manner. But whether the Chief Election Commissioner's words are also backed up with action, that is a different story altogether.
so action, you see, whether we could say it in letter and spirit. What was missing, you may not be saying in so many words clearly, but then what was missing is that actually whatever he said, all these things are missing in their actions. And also the manner they conducted the press meet. That's what I feel.
Okay, sure, sure. You are certainly entitled to your interpretation of the 1.5 hour long press conference.
But then what is your
That,
impression? What was your impression?
I think after the press conference, uh, I am not so sure at all. I am very, very skeptical whether the image of the election commission has been enhanced. I agree with you when you said he seemed on the defensive. I go back to what I said. It seemed that press conference was called on a Sunday afternoon at the same time when Rahul Gandhi was having, in Bihar, conducting a kind of a rally and a yatra, a journey. Uh, Also, I felt that it was also a press conference to answer what the Supreme Court of India had said. Remember, it's an interim order of the Supreme Court. What was issued, the order that was issued on the 14th of August is an interim order.
Interim.
The hearing will happen after. I mean, it will continue.
21st again, 21st.
I think we'll have to wait and watch what happens after that when the next hearing happens. So let's see what happens. Uh, I I'm not entirely pessimistic. I'm cautiously optimistic. We even saw journalists who are part of the so-called Godi media. Even they asked questions. They asked important questions. So we have to remain hopeful.
No, no, this is absolutely here. I agree with you because the first thing is that okay, the Supreme Court, the interim order of the Supreme Court. Then the next thing is that okay, at least they have come up with a press conference. But the people, our viewers who will see this interview, the people who have seen this interview, they'll see that in a subtle manner you have said, I am very vocal in certain cases, but your answers are very subtle. But if they could read the meaning in that, they will get everything. And I'm so happy that yesterday was a big press conference. You spent 1.5 hours there, and then everywhere your questions are being discussed all over. So I'm so happy that you could at least you could spare some time for the audience of the Northeast now. I'm so grateful to you, and I'm so thankful to you.
Thank you, Mr.
Okay.
Paresh Malaka.
Okay.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much.
Bye.
My
Bye.
pleasure.